Breaking news! News has exploded on the web and generated a lot of buzz, and we're in the middle of it all. I'll tell you all the details, but first, be sure to click the like button if you've been a Niners fan for over 25 years and comment below where you're watching this video from. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Gabe Davis has just been released by the Jacksonville Jaguars, a transfer that causes surprise not only because of what it means for the Jaguars' offensive struggles, but also because of what it could signal for a team like the San Francisco 49ers. A team that desperately needs to balance its receiving core amid injury concerns and contract uncertainty. Former 49ers offensive lineman Jon Feliciano didn't take long to speak out, tweeting that Davis would be the perfect choice for San Francisco. Let's take a look at this, because if Feliciano is right, the Niners may be facing an unexpected solution to a very real problem. This is the kind of move that would go unnoticed until it doesn't. Davis, just 26, feels like a veteran. A fourth-round pick by the Buffalo Bills in 2020, he's one of those names that NFL fans recognize even if they can't recall his stats off the top of their heads. But the numbers are better than you might think. In 2020, 35 receptions for 599 yards and 7 touchdowns. In 2021, same number of receptions, 6 touchdowns. In 2022, his best year, with 836 yards on 48 receptions. Then in 2023, before signing that ill-fated deal with Jacksonville, he threw for 746 yards and another 7 touchdowns. That's 29 touchdowns in 72 games. This is a player who finds the end zone, and that kind of production, especially in the red zone, is hard to ignore. And let's not forget who Kyle Shanahan is. The man loves physical, fearless receivers. Receivers who can block. Receivers who don't mind contact. Davis fits that profile. At 6 feet 2 inches, 225 pounds, he's big enough to bully defensive backs, fast enough to create separation, and fearless enough to dig in on a block. That's Shanahan's type. That's exactly the kind of grit the Niners pride themselves on, especially with a quarterback like Brock Purdy who thrives when he has physical targets that extend plays. Now, look at the Niners' current situation. Brandon Ayuk's timeline is murky. That knee injury he suffered in October 2024 was catastrophic, multiple torn ligaments. Best case scenario, he's back by week 1. Worst case, he misses a chunk of the season. That leaves Ricky Pearsall as WR1, Jawan Jennings as WR2, and Demarcus Robinson as WR3. After that, you're scraping the depth chart. Sure, there's talent, Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, Russell Gage, Tarek Owens. But are any of them proven commodities? Watkins is a 4.3 burner, but untested at the NFL level. And Trent Taylor? He's not even expected to make the 53-man roster. It's a patchwork group with a lot of potential, but very little reliability. Gabe Davis gives you that, and more. He gives you an insurance policy for Ayuk, a potential upgrade over Robinson, and a player who can slide into this offense without changing the scheme. That's huge, because for all the talk about Shanahan's system, it's only as good as the players executing it. Davis has playoff experience too, none better than that legendary 2021 performance where he racked up over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns in a single postseason game. The moment isn't too big for him. The timing is also key. We're in May. Rookie minicamp is this weekend. OTAs later this month. Mandatory minicamp mid-June. If you're going to make a move, it has to be soon. Let a guy like Davis learn the playbook, build chemistry with Purdy, and get his timing right. Every rep counts, especially when your offense is trying to rebound from a disappointing 6-11 season. The Niners can't afford another slow start. Not in a loaded NFC West. Not with Seattle retooling, Arizona improving, and the Rams still being the Rams. Speaking of Purdy, contract negotiations are heating up. You've got insiders like Ian Rappaport saying the deal's moving in the right direction, but not close. John Lynch is optimistic. Mike Jones from The Athletic thinks it's nearly done. But Rappaport, he's tapping the brakes. He's hearing mid-June, maybe late July. That's cutting it close, folks. And here's where it gets dicey. We've seen this script before with Debo, Boza, Ayuk. Drama, tension, missed reps. You want your quarterback dialed in, synced up with the offense, especially when that offense has something to prove. Last year was a mess. The offense was out of sync. Injuries, coaching miscues. It never clicked. Purdy struggled. So if you want a fast start in 2025, it begins now, with reps, with timing, with continuity. That's why locking up Purdy matters. That's why adding a player like Davis matters. It's not just about talent. It's about preparation. It's about giving this offense every chance to hit the ground running. And here's a wild stat for you. Pro Football Focus just ranked the Niners draft class #1 in terms of 3-year grades, despite giving them a D for the draft overall. It's almost laughable. You're admitting they picked high character, high production players with proven college performance, but you still graded poorly? Jordan James, Curtis Rourke, Upton Stout, C.J. West, Guys with 90-plus PFF grades over 3 seasons. That's the backbone of a rebuild. And yet the narrative is all over the place. This is a team on the edge. It's not a rebuild, but it's not a full power sprint either. The Niners are in a transition window. They need to reload, not rebuild. And every move, from signing a player like Gabe Davis to finalizing Brock Purdy's extension, matters in making that happen. So what do you think, Niner faithful? Should the 49ers take a shot on Gabe Davis? Does he fit the mold for Shanahan's offense? Let's pick up where we left off, because things are only getting more layered. The Pro Football Focus analysis stirred up a storm. They praised the Niners for targeting high-performing prospects with long-term production for players in the 2025 class graded above 90 across 3 seasons. Running back Jordan James led the way with an elite 92.4 PFF grade at Oregon. He's not here to replace Christian McCaffrey, but he gives the offense a dangerous 1-2 punch in the backfield. The last time the Niners had real depth behind McCaffrey, they were bullying teams in the run game. James' inclusion signals that return. Then you've got quarterback Curtis Rourke with a 91.9 grade. Maybe not a starter, but depth with potential. Cornerback Upton Stout posted a 90.7. Defensive lineman C.J. West, another 90.6. These aren't random names. These are tone setters. Players with track records of toughness, consistency, and versatility, exactly what this team lacked last year when depth evaporated and the defensive identity got soft. And that's why fans are puzzled. How does PFF praise the core of this class and yet slap a D grade on the draft overall? It's inconsistent, borderline hypocritical. It tells you this team is being judged on vibes instead of metrics. But what should really matter is that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan drafted with a clear vision, proven producers, strong character, and positional need. They lost key veterans and answered back with athletes ready to contribute. If you're a Niners fan, that should give you some optimism. And the locker room vibe? George Kittle, the people's tight end, always knows how to deliver a message. His contract advice to Brock Purdy, passed down from Richard Sherman, was as real as it gets. Contracts are like braces. You hate them while they're on, but when they're off, you've got a beautiful smile and a bag of cash. That metaphor, it hit Purdy hard. According to Kittle, he's already shared that with his quarterback, and Brock liked it. That's leadership flowing through generations. The importance here isn't just poetic, it's functional. Kittle got his deal done early. So did Warner. The smoother the process, the more time Purdy has to lead. And the more he leads, the more this team has a shot at turning things around fast. If San Francisco avoids another training camp circus like we saw with Debo and Ayuk, they'll enter the 2025 season not just healthy, but focused. That's the edge, because this team can't afford to waste another season. The NFC isn't going to wait. The Rams are always lurking. Seattle is smarter than ever. And Arizona? They're unpredictable, but dangerous. Every inch matters. Every rep counts. Every piece, from Gabe Davis to Jordan James to a locked-in Purdy, could be the difference between 6-11 and a playoff return. Now it's your turn, Niner Nation. Drop your thoughts below. Should the 49ers lock up Gabe Davis? Is this draft class being unfairly judged? And how much would you pay Brock Purdy per year? Sound off in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel for daily 49ers content. Go Niners!